Hello and welcome to the Blossoming Unity podcast. We are Dennis and Nicole, and we are here to introduce you into the conversation about different spiritual perceptions, techniques, and methodologies in order for you to have inspiration for your day-to-day life. Hello and welcome.
Hello. Yes, we want to inspire you. That's one of my biggest things. I love to be inspired myself, so I love to be an inspiration for others. Inspiration is so important, no?
It's the fire,
It is.
the element fire, passion. See, the thing is, a lot of people try to find their passion, right? They're trying to force their passion rather than getting out of the way of old belief systems that made them believe that they're not passionate already. Like, I got to find my passion. Well,
I
if you
find my
stopped
life purpose. I was like that.
yeah, we all start there.
Oh yeah.
And so you have people who can tell you the cheat code and be like, hey, just all you got to do, sit down, be still, watch your patterns. And what is it that makes you believe that you're not passionate right now?
Mm. Well, I understand that because I was in that for years, like for 5, 6 years. I was like, I have to find my life purpose. I have to find my the thing I came here for, and that was really a good motor. Like, I'm sorry. Can you talk? I have to drink.
Yes, absolutely. So passion and being passionate continuously, be passionate about going into your practice, be passionate about going into your awareness and being aware that you're aware, be passionate with every breath, be passionate with every blink and every heartbeat. And when you hear that, people are like, well, it's just not working for me. When you reach a certain level of awareness within you, and that goes into recognizing the spaciousness within you. So if you're able to witness your thoughts, you're able to witness your emotions, you're able to recognize, I'm not this body, I'm not this mind. And then you come up to the question like, who am I? Why am I? What is all that? The only way to get to that point is to stop asking other people. Don't ask anybody who you are because they're just going to give you a concept. And then if you run with that concept, then you'll never truly experience who you are. Now, it's different if you experienced who you are and then it came out and people were saying this. Then it matches what it is that you've experienced, and that may be different. But ultimately, it's not the concept that they put on you. Now, finding the passion to be able to sit here and go, wow, I'm breathing right now. That's a passionate thing. You're breathing. The body's doing it. You don't have to think about it. That's a passionate thing. Changing your perspective on what you believe passion to be. What you feel inside, feeling this heartbeat, that is a passionate heart. That is passionate blood flowing through the veins. It's all passion. Now, changing your perspective of what passion has been for you is what completely changes the entire thing and how you believed it to be. Ooh.
Well, I asked a lot of people in those days, in those years that I was like on a quest, on a search quest. I I needed to have certain, outside reflections of myself in order to understand who I was. I needed to have this, every human in your life is basically there to mirror, to show you in a mirror what you see, who you are. Like, and I needed those reflections because there was something about myself that I couldn't understand fully. I couldn't see fully who I was. And I mean, I don't know, probably that's never necessary and that's never needed because you're like on a certain moment, you're emanating just you, and then that's what it is, and it doesn't matter. But I had a time where I needed this reflection in order to understand better who I was, because my self-esteem was not very good. It was not very intact, let's keep it that way, due to whatever reasons. But what helped me the most, like my daily practice for years, like I would say for 4 or 5 years, was every night I went to bed, I had a YouTube video going on. It was from Baba Moji. And Moji Baba is like one of the big spiritual teachers of these days. For me, there is like Sadhguru, there is Eckhart Tolle, there is Baba Moji, there is Dandapani probably, and but those are for me like the big go thoughtless teachers. You're not your thought, you're not what you feel, you're all that, and you know. But like in the days, back in the days, like that's 15 years ago or something, I played every night in bed this meditation through the whole night on repeat. So what I did with that, I trained my subconscious mind to understand what that was. And what was really fascinating, it took a long time, because it was like, or I didn't get it. Like in the first year, I didn't get it. I got days where I got the feeling of, oh, this is arising within me. But I mean, in general, I was still like very reactive. But after like 2 years, all of a sudden, something very, very big changed within me. I just realized, oh wow, there's so much space all of a sudden. Like, and so much space meant like I was within me, and there was probably like, how much is this in inches? I don't do inches. We do like centimeters. It's like that, like
a foot,
arm length. Half an arm, I don't know, a foot. And a foot. That's a big.
Depends on how long your arm is.
Yeah,
I mean,
I know.
you could have a very short arm, very long arm.
You know what I mean. And then all of a sudden there was this space within me where I was like, oh wow, there are thoughts about me, about my body, about me in society, about me in jobs, about me in relationships, about my relationship to work, and they're coming and they're going. When I don't fuck with them, basically, when I don't like make love to each thought, then they're going. Like, then they're just like, whoops, whoops, like a dolphin, like, whoops, they're gone. And then year 3 really changed the size of that space. All of a sudden, there were like 4 or 5 meters of space within me. And now it's like even bigger. So, you know, like by now, everyone listening to the podcast, I'm a huge fan of a daily practice. But a daily practice doesn't mean that you have to do it, that you do have to do a 1.5 hour yoga set. I mean, if you can, amazing, good for you. If you cannot, play an Eckhart Tolle meditation every night, Dennis Elkins meditation every night, play Baba Moji meditation every night. Like, do what you can do. Like, and with that space, what that allowed me to do was it allowed me to have enough energy, enough chi to start to perceive my dreams. Like, I always wanted to write books. I knew I will be writing books. And my first children's book came out like 5 years ago. And now I will be writing another book. Or I always wanted to work as a therapist, as a healer, but I couldn't do that until I was done with my trauma healing. And then I started that. Like, and in the time between, I had a career. I worked for 20 years in corporate and finance and compliance. So, and I never understood what I did there I was like, why do I have to be here? Like, what's the deal with that? But you know what? If I haven't done that, if I haven't lived in Paris and did a year of, I was leading a huge project and building a whole new company and a new system in Paris for a company that I worked for, I wouldn't be able to hold the project ally vision and my ally in my Auric field today. So don't think that where you are is not the right spot. I think that's very important. Even though it doesn't feel good, even though it doesn't make sense yet, it will make sense, I promise. When you're living your passion, you're learning the skill set, you're getting the skill set for your highest destiny, if that's what you want to do.
Beautifully said.
Yeah. And about inspiration, like, I don't know, how do you feel about inspiration? Like for me, like you said, the fire, but how much inspiration do you need today? I mean, need is not a nice word, but
Um, inspiration is different for everyone. For me, inspiration is just a word now. It's an experience. Uh, they say for me before inspiration was, well, what makes me want to get up every day? Now I wake up and I'm like, oh yes, I'm still here. Oh yes, beautiful. And I do a little dance, do a little squats, have some fun, dance, sing, invite the good energy in, and just, I think being aware and recognizing when your energy can be very potent and when it's time for it to very chill out, and then be potent and then chill out. The more consciously aware you become, the more you recognize where your energy has to go in particular situations, right? So if you're in a sitting where you're all just kind of sitting around and relaxing, this is your invitation to sit and actually sit and relax. If you're in doing a podcast or doing certain things where you're up and you're speaking with people, and that type of area needs a passionate, inspiring conversation rather than, someone that's just going to sit there and kind of pay attention to everybody and just hold space, rather than hold space and still, cut through the field and allowing them to see themselves, right? So I guess the inspiration comes whenever a particular situation arises where it's needed. So there's not something that I'm holding on to like, oh, this is what's inspiring me every day to keep on going. It's the things arise and the inspiration arises simultaneously with it. It's beautiful how it works, because before I was holding on to this idea that I need to be inspired constantly. And that very hindrance of holding on to that idea is what kept me from the inspiration in the first place. When you let go of these ideas and these concepts that we have towards particular dictionary words, right? Our concepts around the words, then we actually get to experience what it was always meant to experience. It's like the word love. People don't experience it because they have an idea of love rather than it just allowing love to be what is. It's like, this is my idea of love, and this is how I'm going to experience it, and this is how I can only experience it, and this is how it should be, and this is what it should not be. We have all these ideas about what love should and shouldn't be rather than allowing love to be it. And we do that with people as well. We expect people to be all these different things and allow people to just be. And then you get to experience them in their true essence of who they are right there in that moment.
very beautifully said. For me, inspiration is I have to explain something for that. So our physical body has a bionic knowledge. Let's keep it that way. And it has some chakras. For those of you that don't know, those are energy centers, and the chakras are bound to the auric field. And the auric field, or the aura, is the energy, the magnetic field surrounding your body. Every living being and every non-living being on planet Earth has an auric field. With the non-living beings, the auric field is smaller. With the living beings, like when they're animals, it's like a certain type, and with the human beings, it can be up to 9 feet. And so in this aura, as well as in the physical body, there are like sleeping portals existing. Sleeping portals to old incarnations, sleeping portals to knowledge that you inherited, sleeping portals to ancestor knowledge, sleeping portals to your life purpose as well, to a higher realm that you could live. And for me, inspiration is when when one of those portals are activated. And like, that means this can be like the child in the supermarket, that has the key to activate one of those portals. It can be a spiritual teacher that has the key to activate the portal. It can be a book, a movie, whatever it is that is activating another pathway. And then you have access to new things, new knowledge, where that supports your purpose. So when you're walking the path of the highest destiny, or your destiny path, like the dharmic path, that means dharma is the contrary of karma, and living the dharma means you live here to be the best human version you could be, and to be really alive, to enjoy life, to live a prosperous, graceful incarnation, to really thrive in life, to be abundant on every level. This is like a human incarnation well lived, and to have higher realm access, actually, to more energy, to other things, to other people as well. And so for me, an inspiration is when someone is really like activating in my auric field or in my physical body one of those portals, so I have new versions of me for me. Does that make sense? You're smiling like a honey bear. Like, you have to go to our YouTube. Dennis was like laughing at me the whole time. I need to know why.
I'm just in a very good mood. I laugh and I giggle. It's just it just comes out of nowhere, to be honest. Just giggles.
That's good.
It's like it's non-verbal
Fun.
seeing. Yeah. It's like I see you and I see the divinity, and then I just giggle.
I know. I had the same before when I
It
said
happens quite often, and some people are like, well, are you laughing at me? Like literally what you just did. And I'm like, no,
no,
I
I'm
see you.
laughing.
I
Yeah.
see you. And they're like, what do you see? I was like, you. They're like, well, what's that? And I'm like, find out.
Like, that's on you. I thought you want to say something to the inspiration.
Oh, I did. I had a long tech talk about inspiration. I talked about the passion and all that. That all came straight from the core. I got real hot from that as well. Real hot.
Real hot. That could have been from Texas. You just needed a cowboy hat for that one. I got real hot for that one. That was funny.
I did live it. I lived in the South for a bit, so that may have came from a twang from when I lived down there.
Yeah.
South America. So not South America, the continent, southern United States of America.
Yeah. Yeah, that sounded pretty much like that. That's very funny. Yeah. So I would love to speak about something that's going on currently on the planet. We are like now in December, for any one of you listening, December 2021. And it's December, I think, wait a second, 14th. So I would love to speak about a portal that is currently open. And it started on December 12th. It's 12/12/21, which is in numerology 333, which is a 9, which means the end of a cycle. And then this portal is open for 9 days until December 21st, 12/21, which is a 333, which is a 9. And this is a 9 portal. You have to imagine it like it's an energetic field which is open to really close cycles of lifetimes. Karmic cycles of lifetimes are able to be closed now. And that would mean, for example, personally did yesterday a healing session with someone where I was the client, because I felt that something wanted to be released and could be released. It's now the time. And the essence of this letting go of what there was allowing myself to fully step into my authentic human self and to emanate all the joy that I have in my heart and all the love that I have for humans and all the bliss. Because there was a part of me that thought it's too much for the people. I'm disturbing people with my joy. You know, in Switzerland, when you're in Switzerland, being joyful is not like very highly appreciated because people love their misery. Like they really
Are they Bergens?
It's
Like you know the movie Trolls?
trolls,
Yeah, it's a kids movie.
like dwarfs.
No, they're trolls, so they're
The
like
one with
very
the
colorful.
long hair.
Yeah, and then
Yeah, I know those ones.
everybody, they're
Yeah,
like the Bergens, like they all were miserable. Is that how it is there?
yeah. It's
Oh
not
wow.
everyone. Like there are a lot of people which is not like that, but it's like, you know, I used to work in a business environment. So coming in and be like, "Good morning, how are you?" Everyone's like, "Shut up. Why are you in such a good mood? Like, what's wrong with you?" Like, it's it takes too much space, I guess. So that's what I experienced. But I mean, you experience what you think, what you believe. So I'm sure there was, and there, I cannot say that for the whole of Switzerland, but I mean, you go, for example, to Brazil or to, and like any other country probably than in Europe, or to South America, there's so much more joy and so much more fun in the day-to-day life than probably in the northern hemisphere and in Europe, because the joy is appreciated. It's part of the incarnation to be joyful for them, and here it's part of the incarnation to, there he is back again, and here it is part of the incarnation to have a different type of experience, to not experience so much emotions, but to experience rather your mind. Like depending on where you're incarnated, let's say you incarnated in Southeast Asia, then your higher experience, part of the collective experience, is to experience you in a collective, in a big collective, moving around. If you're incarnated in the Middle East or in the Arabic countries, your higher one of the higher souls experiences to experience emotions, because they're very wonderfully emotional people. But I've never been loved and accepted by women like in the Middle East. In the Middle East, the women, they have a sisterhood that's just as a woman, there's nothing more nurturing as a woman being with women of those countries than being with women from the Middle East. Like, it's the most beautiful connection. Women always support each other. They're like, when you meet them, they're sweet and nurturing and nice. And this is something you never experience here in Europe. Like, maybe in Italy, maybe like in the South, but in general, like, you're on your own, because the higher experience of the souls in the collective in Europe is to experience more the mind and less the emotions. Like, there are emotions, but we're not playing those emotional games. So yeah, joy is not really like, joy is an emotion. Like, well, it's actually not. But well, how can we explain that? Do you explain it, please?
Joy is an inside job. Happiness is an outside job.
Yeah. But how can we explain people that or joy?
Well, where we would have to originate is when we say the mind, we're really just talking about the intellect. You're only experiencing life through the intellect, right? Because the mind has many, many, many layers.
Mm,
And majority are only experiencing it through the intellect. And to experience joy, it's very intellectually based. They're emotionally based in the intellect. So they're not truly experiencing the emotions in an experiential way. They're getting the backfire of
mm.
what the intellect describes it to be. So it's never a true, authentic experience. It's the intellect going, oh, that's happy. Oh, that's sadness. Oh, that's, and it's cutting it. It's
Yeah,
cutting
it's
the emotion from the
actually thinking
experience.
feelings.
Yeah.
People are thinking their feelings instead of
Yeah.
feeling their feelings. They're
Mhm.
analyzing their feelings instead of living their feelings.
So true intellectual maturity is giving space and understanding you can't intellectualize emotion.
Mm.
You got to allow the emotion to be the
Yeah, the
emotion.
world would be a completely different spot if people would start to feel their feelings instead of intellectualize their feelings.
Mm. So
Very
a lot of suffering happens because of that. But the majority of the experiences is through the intellect. Sadhguru gives a great explanation of the intellect, and the intellect is like a sharp knife, and you're trying to dictate the intellect with the intellect. One, what I noticed within the collective. So you're trying to use a knife to get rid of the knife, right? You're using a knife to get rid of the knife. You're
yeah.
still left with the knife that's very sharp, no matter what comes out on top. So
Mm.
that could be you fighting a negative belief, a negative pattern, whatever it could be intellectually, right? So if you're doing that, you're fighting a knife with a knife. You're only experiencing through the intellect. You're trying to meditate through the intellect. You're trying to do everything through the intellect. You're trying to have spiritual experiences through the intellect. You can't go through the intellect. You can't use the thing that makes you believe that you're the thing. You believe you're the thing, and you're trying to run away from the thing that you believe that you are.
Mm.
It'll never work.
Nope.
So ultimately, there's a space within you that it allows you to hold, and this is what the guru talks about, holding the knife. So being able to go into these still aware states is being able to hold the intellect with a steady hand. So that's through yoga, through different daily practices, through conditioning and recognizing what you are and what you're not, putting away what you're not and recognizing what you are. And if you recognize what you are and you recognize what you're not within what you are, then you just disregard that as well. And it's an ongoing, you know, undoing and unfolding, right? Until you allow the genius within you to blossom. So it's the unfolding and then it's the blossoming, right? That's why we name this the blossoming unity, because unity, yoga means union, and blossoming is blossoming the genius, the intelligence within you. A lot of people's intelligence is hijacked by the intellect, is hijacked by their patterns, and they believe that's only to be it. And until you have that experience of what the intelligence truly is beyond the intellect, not using the intellect to get rid of it, Never work. You can do it forever, ever and ever and ever. You can try and think your way out of every experience. You can go far. You can definitely go far, but you're going to keep falling into the same trap. There will always be something that'll cause suffering. I use the quotation fingers. So ultimately, it's allowing yourself to have space from that intellectual discrimination of the world around you, because the world isn't the labels. It's not the label that we throw on it. And that's the biggest thing, is the intellect uses the labels to understand the world around, which isn't a problem. It's a problem when you only base reality off of the labels. You live in a very labeled world. You're a label, and everything around you is a label. And those labels can be balled up and cause suffering every time that those labels have to disappear, because that label is now a part of you.
It gets it becomes your identity.
Mm-hmm.
Question is that really serving you?
Mm.
Like, is your identity, your identification as I am female or I am male, my name is blah blah blah, I am from da da da, like, are you really that?
Mm.
Like,
Right.
who are you when that falls away?
Mm-hmm.
Like,
And the cool thing is when you recognize, okay, there's a way of being able to communicate when you recognize that you aren't those things. And now you're using it for what communication is meant to be used for. You're communicating clearly. You're saying the label to describe what it is, but you're not using it in a sense of from a sense of self. It's like saying, my name's Dennis, but that's not me coming from an identity of Dennis, right? Taking ownership, owning it, like this is me, right? Before it was you can see someone say, well, my name is, I'll just use my name so people don't get
yeah,
offended. My name's Dennis. And there's so much pride and chest, like that tells people who you are.
the
Really,
egoic
that tells you who
identity.
you are. So you're a concept. I actually ended up making a video about that on TikTok. And the video was, it was a waking up, the lights came on and it was a dark room, and I was speaking to you know the higher self, the deeper self. And the video, they go, who are you? And I was like, well, my name's Dennis, I'm a 26-year-old man. And they go, well, that's who you are? And in the video I go, well, yeah. And they're like, so you're a concept? Because if you believe yourself to be that, then you're a concept. On the surface level, we can say that, yes, but you're not a concept in essence. So that's where people are getting stuck, is the concept of you.
Yeah,
We're really getting deep today.
somehow we just ended up in that rabbit hole, down deep in the
The unfolding.
That's funny. We went down the rabbit hole. Yeah, so like in this meditation that I was always listening to, Baba Moji, he did this beautiful guided meditation where he said, like, but who's thinking the thought? Like, who's observing what you think? Who is observing what you feel? Are you your emotions, or are you the one observing your emotions? Are you the one thinking, or are you the one observing the thoughts?
Mm-hmm.
Are you the one, are you female, or are you observing being female? Are you, and he really, he did that all the time. And in the beginning I was like, huh, what? Because the thing with the awakening, or the thing with with growing out of your concept of you, what's the thing with that is, it is a visceral sensation. It is not a mental concept. It is actually the complete opposite of a mental concept. Like, the spiritual awakening is the realization on a bodily, visceral level that you are not your body, you are not your thoughts, you are not your emotions. You are, in essence, the one observing all that is appearing in his life, with the coming of going of thoughts, of emotions, of people, of opportunities, of money, of whatever it is, you name it, jobs, like name it. You are the one observing what's coming and going. And the less you identify with what's coming and going, the more time you spend in the essence of you, basically. And that is a feeling. Being not attached, or like in EMDR, in the trauma therapy, we speak of associated memory and dissociated memory. An associated memory is when you think of something from your past and you're still in the situation. Let's say you were in school during a break time and someone said something mean to you. Are you in the situation, or do you see the situation like on a TV screen? And if you're in the situation, you're having an associated memory. And if you're seeing the screen, it's a dissociated memory. And the goal of this whole awakening thing is to dissociate from your identity as a body, as a thought, as an emotion, and to observe what's coming and going. But nevertheless, live in this body and with this body, and going through being a true human, and to enjoy it. So that's the teachings of that. And so for me, the biggest change was when that clicked. Like there was a point it clicked. It just, and then it was, oh wow, wait a second, that's new. Like, and then my pain started going away, and then my pain just arose to show me something, and then I cleared that out, and then the pain could go again. Like my body started to talk to me, then relationships started to talk to me more and more and more. So, and when the spiritual teachers say everything is resonance, or they say your life is a mirror, or they say the reality in the outside world is what you have in the inside, this is what they mean with it. They mean everyone is your teacher. Everything shows you something about you when you're triggered. Then you know there's something within you that is still attached. And then detach from that. Dissociate from that. However whatever technique you're using. Dennis is doing it on a mental level. He's just detaching. I do it with trauma therapy, with EMDR, because I had so much trauma on my physical body that my physical body needs to be supported a little bit more with releasing what there is stored on it. But it doesn't matter. You can like use meditation, you do yoga, you do whatever you want to do, but do it on a daily, and then you have this vast capacity of having a different reality, of a different sense of reality, a different sense of you in this reality as a human body.
We got to be careful with the word disassociate as well with some people.
Oh, you mean, yeah.
So basically, the non-attachment is that you're not experiencing. This is a big misconception. It's like when you recognize you're not the body, that doesn't mean that you don't feel the body. That doesn't mean that you don't appreciate the body. That doesn't mean that you don't have sensations, right? A lot of people only know themselves through their sensations, the sensation of a thought, the sensation of an emotion. Now, can you observe the sensation? And can you observe the one observing That's a whole nother story. But basically, it is allowing yourself to recognize what you're not and what you are. Very simple and straightforward. Very simple and straightforward. On a bodily way, mental way, a mental body, emotional body, physical body, all of it, all the bodies, everybody. And recognizing
That sentence ended very abruptly. Beautiful. I think we're done with our podcast. What do you think?
Yeah. Things rise
Yeah.
and go back.
So 21st of December, it's next week, Tuesday. We will have the Winter Solstice. For me, in my lineage that I am in Kundalini Yoga, this is one of the highest days of the year. We use that day very intensively to do yoga and meditate, because it's the day of the sun, where the sun is the lowest in the northern hemisphere. If you're in the southern hemisphere, it's your summer solstice. Also, this day is to be used as the day which you do a lot of yoga and meditate. And it's really amazing to clear your subconscious mind. And yeah, I give every Tuesday at 8 p.m. CET, which is Central Europe time, a free Kundalini yoga class for my friends and gang. Like, whoever wants to come is invited to come, which is at 11 a.m. LA, which is at 2 p.m. New York, 7 p.m. London. And if anybody of you would love to join, today's Tuesday, the 14th, so we're having it today, or then on the 21st as well, and I will be teaching a Winter Solstice class, and you are more than welcome to join. Also, when you have kids, let them just roll around. That doesn't bother anyone. We have a lot of moms with kids and dads with kids are also invited.
I'll be there next Tuesday. So if you want to join in, let's have some fun.
Let's have some yoga.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you so much for listening, you guys.
Absolutely. Always remember this. Do what resonates with you. Don't believe. Seek.
Okay, guys. Have an amazing day. Thank you very much for listening. Bye.